According to the Kumulipo, our genealogical chant of creation, Po, the eternal darkness, gave birth to the world. From this female potency was born Kumulipo and Po'ele, and from these two the rest of the world unfolded. The land of Hawaii was formed from the volcanic fires of the earth. In their meeting place on the tallest mountain of Hawaii, the sky god Wakea and earth mother Papa became parents of the first ancestors of the Hawaiian people. From original settlement until the time of contact with Western explorers in the late 1700s, the people of Hawaii evolved a high, some say classical culture, and in their expressive cultural arts, they developed highly refined art forms in stoneworking, weaving, body adornment, costuming, wood carving, musical instruments, canoe making, weaponry, medicines, and healing arts. The cultural arts of Native Hawaiians continue to be practiced today as a vital and authentic expression of their ongoing culture. The practice of traditional arts such as lei making, kapa making, wood, bone and stone carving, musical instruments, body adornments, and ocean navigation in sailing canoes are visible signs to Hawaiians of their culture in daily practices, ceremonies, and sacred rites. Many Native artists today are actively involved in rediscovering and reviving their ancient traditions. As they have always done in the past, Native Hawaiians today continue to adapt and explore new ways of expressing their culture in the modern world. A new generation of contemporary artists is engaged in revitalization of their culture through their artwork.
In order for something to be considered Hawaiian cultural work, whether it's contemporary, whether it's traditional, it has to have a Hawaiian cultural truth. And those of us who have seen Hawaiian cultural things know right away when it is part of the cultural truth. It can be contemporary art, and that's not a problem. It can be writing plays, it can be poetry, but it has some sort of Hawaiian cultural truth.
But Native Hawaiian culture today is struggling to maintain against the pressures of mass tourism and accompanying commoditization of all things Hawaiian to the millions of visitors who come here each year. The once famed gathering place, Waikiki, has become a concrete mile of shops and vendors attempting to sell anything that tourists will buy. Commoditized pricing and impulse buying by tourists dictate that goods be made at the lowest possible cost and sold at the lowest possible price. This has resulted in almost everything that is sold to tourists being machine-made of synthetic materials or of low-cost foreign labor and materials. Native Hawaiian cultural arts are becoming lost in the flood of fakes and imitations from foreign producers. Purchasers in impulse buying situations who cannot quickly distinguish between a handmade necklace of unique shells having a value of thousands of dollars from one made of look-alike plastic molded shells for $50 will inevitably buy the $50 fake. This type of consumer choice, repeated every day for practically every item of the cultural arts across the entire tourism industry, results in the devaluing of authentic Native artworks and the starving out of Native artisans as a whole. They cannot support themselves making even a marginal living from their arts. Most need to get day jobs to subsidize making their cultural arts products.
I don't think anybody can fault us for wanting to continue and perpetuate our culture. We have lived in these islands for well nigh over 2,000 years. Our ancestors have traveled these seas for 3,000 years. We have lived here for centuries. And those cultural values that have sustained us as a people are still valid today.
What can be done to stop the degradation of Native Hawaiian cultural arts? An important lesson can be learned from the similar experience of Native American Indians. As Indian arts became popularized, American Indian tribes suffered a similar degradation of their cultural arts through outside producers making fake and imitation Indian products and selling them in Indian arts markets. Congress passed laws culminating in the Indian Arts and Crafts Act, IACA, in 1990 to protect Indian artisans and arts markets. The act reserved to Indian tribal members the exclusive use of designations of Indian-made for authentic handmade products. Since then, Indian arts markets have thrived, and Native American artists are producing works of ever-increasing quality and excellence. Today, the Indian arts markets are $1 billion a year industry. There is now worldwide recognition of the need to protect and promote the cultural arts of surviving indigenous cultures. The World Intellectual Property Organization, a United Nations agency, has studied the use of cultural certification trademarks to protect indigenous cultural arts. As one example, the New Zealand government instituted a cultural trademark program in 2002, reserving exclusive use of the toi iho, Maori-made trademark, to native Maori artisans. In a short time, the toi iho program has established its trademark as a symbol of excellence in Maori cultural arts. Cultural trademarks have been used in Hawaii before for other purposes, such as to designate historic places, cultural publications, and tourism agencies, but there has not been one to designate authentic cultural arts produced by Native Hawaiian artists. While it will not stop foreign vendors from importing and selling imitations, a cultural trademark will have an educational effect in helping Hawaii visitors to distinguish authentic works from fakes and thereby increase the value of native arts in commercial markets. Instituting a cultural trademark program in Hawaii will be an important beginning for Native Hawaiians to exercise sovereignty over their native culture. It will require Native artists to define wise and inclusive policies, identify different types and best expressions of native arts to be recognized, and develop standards for authenticity, excellence, and quality for use of the trademark. These initial steps by the Native Arts Board can then be expanded in a full panoply of measures to more broadly protect, promote, and perpetuate Native Hawaiian cultural arts, including recognizing master artists and heritage arts treasures, administering art support grants for developing artists, promoting Native arts education in schools, developing Native arts markets, and perpetuating the transmission of cultural arts knowledge to younger generations of artists.
The idea of a cultural trademark was like dropping a pebble in a lake, and the ripples are huge. I mean, the implications that emanate out of the idea of a cultural trademark spans just about every aspect of Hawaiian culture, Hawaiian politics, you name it.
In the long term, use of a cultural trademark to distinguish authentic cultural arts products from mass market goods will help to restore the vitality of Native Hawaiian cultural arts. Protecting and promoting the uniqueness of Hawaii's native host culture can also enhance the richness of the cultural environment for the public at large, as well as sustain Hawaii's tourism industries by identifying Hawaii nationally and internationally as a unique cultural destination. As we consider adopting a cultural trademark program in Hawaii, we must all ask ourselves, what would the world be like if there were no more Native Hawaiian cultural arts to see? It would certainly be a poorer place without the authentic expressions of one of the world's unique indigenous cultures. When we can see it from that broader view, then we will all want to find ways to protect and preserve the integrity of Native Hawaiian culture. By joining together in this effort, we will all have a hand in perpetuating the culture that embodies the spirit of aloha.